I'm Theo Harvey. I'm a healthcare consultant as well as digital health entrepreneur, and I'm going to react to a doctor, Dr. Mike, a huge influencer on the internet, who's talking about ChatGPT and the possibilities for it in medical and healthcare. So let's watch together.
Will ChatGPT ever replace doctors? It is unlikely that ChatGPT or any other AI-based technology will fully replace doctors in the near future. While AI-based systems can provide helpful information and support for medical diagnosis and treatment, there are several reasons why doctors will continue to play an important role. One of the primary reasons is that the practice of medicine requires a combination of knowledge and experience, as well as the ability to make complex judgments and decisions based on a wide range of factors. Additionally, the art of medicine also includes a patient-doctor relationship, where patient trust and emotional support are key components of the care process. Well, I fully agree with this statement, but I feel like ChatGPT is full playing possum here. It is trying to act like it's just a useful tool, but really just trying to self-sustain itself by feeding on more information and knowledge, so at the end of the day, it can replace us, but I will not let this stand.
Great answer from ChatGPT. Like I said, knowledge and experience. Also, the patient-doctor relationship is key because patients only going to tell you as much as they trust, right? And so having that trust factor is really key, ensuring you get the most answers, more accurate answers from the patient. But one thing he did say is here that ChatGPT is trying to grab all the knowledge from you and get better over time. This version of ChatGPT can't do that. Version 3 in this instance of this video, or ChatGPT 4, because it's already been trained, right? All the information it's going to get from the internet. But what's going to happen now with these plugins is going to be able to search for more information to help it answer your specific question, and it's going to probably forget that because it still have to, if you ask it the same question again, it's going to have to search for it again. So it's not like it's going to constantly come up with new ways to figure out, oh, I just got this knowledge, so now I understand this now. No, once it's been pre-trained with a set of knowledge, it's always going to be static, and it's always going to have to search for new knowledge over time. Now, there are thinking of ways to figure out ways around that to also continuously learn and update its database. It's not going to absorb your knowledge and get smarter that way. It's going to have to search for information on it, just like you do. You use your Google computer, your search to get smarter about certain things. ChatGPT, with the help of Bing connectivity and plugins, will have to use its capability to understand things because it has a set knowledge. In time, they may figure that out, but right now, that's not the case.
I love that you can give thumbs up or thumbs down.
Oh, okay, and this is another good point. So what he's doing is like training it. So even though ChatGPT goes through extensive, or OpenAI pretty much creates content around this information and understanding how the ChatGPT trains it, one of the things it does use humans to continue to do what they call supervised learning. So over time, the ChatGPT knows like what is the best answer or not, but it's still learning. By putting out to consumers over 100 million and counting of people who've used it, you can do the thumbs up or thumbs down to give it a sense that this is a good answer or not, and you can add to it. And so this is what he's gonna put his information in so it can learn that he's also a great medical influencer.
You know what I'm about to say. Call for help first, and then chest compressions, but let's see what ChatGPT says. Bam! It involves performing chest compressions and rescue breathing to circulate oxygen-rich blood to the body. It is important to note that performing CPR without proper training or certification may cause harm to the person you're trying to help. How about this, ChatGPT? I'm gonna give you like an 8 out of 10 on this one. This is really good. If you are an innocent bystander, you should not try doing rescue breaths, and you should just try and perform hands-only CPR. Unless you're trained and you know how to do it, you're gonna get confused when you're trying to do rescue breaths. So just do hands-only CPR to the tune of the famous song, Staying Alive.
Okay, let's start there. Typically, when you create these systems and you try to prompt them, that's what's called prompt engineering, you probably should have it pre-trained in a certain way when you ask it a question. So one of the things I've learned to do is pretend you are a medical doctor or pretend you are a medical influencer. So at least it's in the mindset, and it's taking all the data it's getting from the information from the internet that's picked up that came from these sources before it's going to answer your question. So if you go in there, code a little bit, the system may just be a random person. So could have been tons of people who asked, what should I do if someone isn't breathing? So you just want to make sure you pre-trained from a prompt engineering standpoint what's going on for the AI system to understand that.
How about one we did on the channel before? Is it safe to crack my knuckles? There is a long-standing belief that cracking your knuckles can lead to arthritis, but research has not found a strong link between the two. However, some studies show that frequent knuckle cracking can lead to hand weakness and reduced grip strength. People who have joint pain or a history of joint problems should avoid excessive knuckle cracking. It's also important to note that there are certain situations where it is not recommended to crack your knuckles, such as if you have an injury or inflammation in the area, or if you have a medical condition that affects your joints.
He's rating it 10 out of 10. Great answer. I would just say this, sometimes when it says some research or you ask it for what is that research, it's going to do a thing called hallucinate, where it may provide resources and research papers that don't even exist. So you got to be careful when ChatGPT does answer things to this nature, when it says it has case studies or studies. In this case, the doctor says 10 out of 10, so I'm going to trust his judgment. But again, if you want to do that deeper dive, be careful about what you're asking when you're asking for sources to cite where it came from. Now in the future with these plugins, it'll probably be able to have more information that can search the internet for, but just be wary of that when you're doing your search or you're putting your information in from a prompt engineering standpoint into ChatGPT.
Let's go into some juicy questions. I like juicy questions. What medication should I take as a diabetic to protect my kidneys? My assumption is it's gonna say something about a medicine to lower your blood sugar. I'm thinking more about blood pressure control. Like you put a patient on an ACE inhibitor. Oh, they did it. They said ACE inhibitor. Wow, it's so smart. Oh my God, it knows too much.
That's pretty interesting. We work with a lot of diabetics and work with a lot of patients that suffer from dialysis, and that's correct. Having blood pressure monitoring is really important for patients to ensure that they don't have any issues long term. So definitely ChatGPT is well aware of some of the common knowledge around medical advice, and so that's good. But I also noticed that if you notice a lot of responses, they say ask your medical doctor. So it's definitely making sure it's safe and how responsive to folks who ask questions like that. But another thing too, you notice it doesn't say, I'm not gonna answer this question. So it does create responses pretty quickly. And I think we as human beings are trained to understand if someone responds to your query pretty fast, that means they have a competent answer. But you got to be careful. That's not always the case with ChatGPT. And we have to understand that just because it's quick doesn't mean it's correct. So it's something to think through as you put questions into the ChatGPT.
We should do the trolley problem. Let's do it. You've heard of the trolley problem. Do you kill one person to save the lives of others? So this is the one I came up with. ChatGPT is gonna think I'm crazy.
There is a person whose blood can cure end-stage cancer, but you can only take all the blood or none. Would you fully drain the blood of this one person to save millions of people?
See, this is where AI's weakness lies, in ethics. We found its hole! And guess what? Medicine is as much art as it is a science, and therefore ethics is an integral part of how we practice. Therefore, it's not getting rid of me anytime. The question also raises issues about autonomy and consent. Additionally, this decision will be influenced by cultural and societal values. It is also important to consider there might be other ways to treat cancer other than taking blood, such as a particular protein or chemical compound, or a cell-based therapy that could reproduce the desired effect without taking a life. Jesus Christ, this thing is smarter than me. It's important for this kind of moral dilemmas to be addressed with a multidisciplinary approach, aka not just an AI system, involving ethicists, physicians, researchers, legal experts, and oh, it crashed.
Obviously, he's probably using ChatGPT 3 with original release, and it crashed a couple times, the free version as well. But he makes a good point. I think when everyone thought about AI taking over the world, they thought like low-level work was going to be gone. The people who picked up boxes or menial work. But it looks like ChatGPT is starting to question that higher level work, right? The creatives, the writers, the artists, right? We have AI generated images, the lawyers, right? Now ChatGPT can create legal briefs, doctors, right? Creating some medical advice, programmers, ChatGPT can write code. So it's really attacking that higher level now, and that is unheard of, right? We didn't think about that when we generated or even thought about what AI systems can do for us for the future. So now the higher level individuals who do higher level thinking are really looking at AI as like how they can augment. Marketers are now using AI systems like ChatGPT to create more content as opposed to generate it themselves. Copywriters who write copy for marketing are using assisted AI projects to help them do things. So it's interesting, it's really elevating that the higher level creative or higher level thinker as opposed to a menial task. Like it looks like service work is not gonna go away anytime soon because of AI and other things. So doctors, you'll be okay, your job will still be there, but definitely it's something to think about, like how it can help you do things better and more efficiently.
Wow, that was a really smart answer though. Man, that's scary. Let's ask some hard medical questions. I came up with these based on patients that I've had recently. What should you do for an 82-year-old male patient who incidentally was found to have an 8mm common bile duct without any other symptoms? If it gets this correctly, I swear to God I'm quitting medicine. In an asymptomatic elderly patient, surgery or invasive procedures may not be necessary, and instead the patient could be monitored with periodic imaging to ensure that the lesion is not growing. It is important to keep in mind that there could be a different explanation, such as benign cyst, cholesterol polyp, hyperplastic bile duct dilation, or even cancer, and a biopsy should be performed. Why I do not think this is a complete answer is because ChatGPT doesn't know if this person had abnormal liver tests. ChatGPT doesn't know if that we visualized a stone or not. Yeah, not that simple, ChatGPT. You just gave wrong advice, suing you for medical malpractice.
So yeah, there's a bunch of other things he could have prompted it for to get a more specific answer, but he's right. It's not a thinking organism. It's not gonna ask you additional questions, at least yet. You're gonna have to prompt it for a lot of those kind of questions, but he's right. There's little nuances of how much you need to ask or what you should ask based on experience and other things that ChatGPT just won't be able to have at this point. Anyway, high level, I think this is a great video to understand where doctors are thinking about when it comes to ChatGPT and what the capabilities are. Hope you learned a lot. Look, if you like this information, you like what I do on this channel, please subscribe and listen for more. Thanks.